This is it TV. Icon Talk. Where the icons talk.
Welcome, my people. Episode number few. I said I'm saying Jamaica, right? Episode number few. This is it TV Icon Talk, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome my next guest. This man really is a longtime friend of mine, actually over almost probably 35 years, right? Been friends since high school. I've watched him go on to do great things for the country and excelled at his craft. It is my pleasure to welcome the former Jamaica national senior football captain, former Jamaica national senior men's team assistant coach, and like I said, a good friend of mine, classmate, schoolmate, Warren Bertha Barrett. Wagwan, my boss.
There, brother. Blessing hello. Like
Yeah,
to
man.
be
No
on the
respect.
program.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Now, when I thought about doing this program, again, I keep giving these disclaimers. Three people came to mind at first. T. Davis, Steve Butner, and of course, Warren Barrett. And I picked up the phone and I called him my friend. And without any bit of hesitation, you agreed to join me on the program. So I must tell you, I'm honored and I'm blessed.
Yeah, man. Anytime. You know, once
hmm
it involves football, then I'm up for it.
Yes. Now, so Bupi, and again, folks, you may hear me swing between different names talking to this man tonight. I may call him Barrett, I may call him Bupi, I may call him Bertha, I may
Bertha.
call him Skipper. I may,
Yeah,
you can swing in the direction. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, um, but in prepare, we were supposed to have this discussion because I don't call them interviews, Bertha. I call them
Mm,
conversations and discussions. We were supposed to have this discussion last week. And to be quite
right.
frank with you, I prepared a list of questions and
Right.
a list of topics that I wanted to discuss. And to be quite honest, I threw it out
Okay.
because I told myself I want to feel like I'm as brand new to this conversation as
Right.
any one of the listeners or the viewers going forward. All right. So
Okay.
let's get some things out of the way though. I don't want this to be a typical conversation because I know you must have repeated and regurgitated the same information over and over and over again. So let's just get the basics out of the way. Based on my information, you're really a countryman. A Chatham you come from. Am I correct?
Yeah, I'm from rural. Yeah, man. I'm from
Mm.
rural St. James
We
in
can't say countryman, Bertha, man. We can't
little.
say countryman.
No, country kind of country. But as you know, yeah, the Jamaican saying we come from country. Yeah,
hmm
I'm from Chatham, small district, about half hour drive out of Montego Bay. So
Yep.
that's the humble beginnings, Left Chatham and came to Montego Bay. I think about when I was about 5 or 6. I lived with my parents.
And
My
where did you
mom and
settle?
dad.
Where in Montego Bay did you settle?
Uh, Firstly, we lived on Barnett Street. It's close to the clock on the right side coming down Barnett Street. There were some houses on the right side there. Earliest recollections that where we settled first, and then
hmm
we moved to Fish Lane. After that's close to Coombs Lane, right around from that street down from Courts.
Yeah.
If you remember where Courts is, yeah,
Yes,
that
yes, yes,
street
yes.
just before Courts, yeah, that's where we lived for a while, and that's where the talent started to show as a footballer. My brother, myself, and a number of friends who grew up in that area. That's where we started, kicking backs or oranges or tennis balls, whatever we could find, you
Yeah.
know.
Now, Bertha, let me interject. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I'm deeply sorry. Based on my
Mhm.
knowledge, your brother has since passed, right?
Yes, well, I've actually lost three brothers plus mother and
Oh,
father
really? Oh, my
over the
condolences, my bro.
years. Yeah,
Yeah, man, my
yeah.
condolences.
Thanks. Yeah, lost my
Yeah.
dad last August. So
Oh, wow.
not last year, 2023. Sorry, 2022.
Well,
Sorry, August 2022. So a
yeah,
year plus
time
now.
of flying now. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry to
yeah,
hear that,
yeah.
man. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man.
So,
Thanks.
how mommy holding up? She's still with us?
No, mommy died before. No, mommy died from
Oh, really?
2014. So I'm an orphan right now.
Wow. So you see, this is where, and this is exactly why I didn't want to pursue no kind of, background checks
Christians.
because
Yeah. Oh,
I really
okay.
want it to
You're not
feel
sure if
brand
it's on.
new. Yeah, man.
Right, right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now, so now you're at Barnet Lane, which
But
incidental
no, Fish
off
Lane
Barnet
actually.
Lane.
Fish Lane.
Okay,
Yeah,
Fish Lane.
yeah, Fish Lane. It's next to courts.
Mm,
That's street just before courts.
right. And the first, man, I'm gonna go back to basic school and them things because I know
Mhm.
you went to Chetwood, right?
Right, right.
You went to Chetwood, and at Chetwood now, were you now more into the football, like because what I do remember, Barrett. Let me try
Mhm.
to focus this conversation as best as possible. You always
Mhm.
think you was an outfield player as far as Manuel. So at Chetwood, were you still in that mind frame like he's a ball out on the field out?
What I'm about out of the field. It's just that it's just that I love goalkeeping, and that's what I guess God called me to do.
Where did
But
that where did
yeah,
that where did that love start though? Like, who were you watching at the time as a young man to make you say, you know what, at that moment,
well, actually, I guess it, it was a it was a God-given talent. I can't say, well, as you know, back in the 70s growing up, you only have black and white JBC. You
Mm-hmm.
understand? So, and I guess you also watch Big League Soccer, but that's where the love for Tottenham Hotspur really started. So I'm a
Oh,
Spurs fan from then.
we're gonna get to that, man. We're gonna
You
get to
know.
Tottenham
So,
because
but
yeah.
we never really have, like, say, goalkeepers or players who you really emulate from, like, overseas. But as a young man, as I said, as a kid growing up, and you're on the street and your brother, your friends, we'd find ourselves by UDC watching St. James Division 2.
Hmm.
And that's where I first came in contact with one legend, Paul Teagat Davis.
Mm.
Because I remember as a young boy, Arnett Villa and Arnett City were the
I
two teams
recently learned that,
that
Bertha. I
that
interviewed
That
Tia
Gabby
recently
was in
and
charge. Right.
just learned that really, for real.
Yeah, man. Those were two teams that Gabby had that he coached. They had Tigat was another of Arnett City. Arnett Villa, I think, had Johnny Blackard, if you remember him from overseas. That's Bob Scar's older brother. I know you have Walter Bull, and a number of players. I mean, that was my early contact. I remember I used to go in the goal. I think I used to just kick ball at me as a little boy. So
Really?
I guess, yeah, yeah. So you can say probably that's where well, as I said, the talent was there. I don't know, but I remember even there's a gate on the side. I'd say leading to go behind courts. There's a gate right there, and that's where my brother and I used to keep goal with our friends.
Mm.
We used to stuff box and kick penalties or whatever. You dive on the concrete. We use the gate as a goal. So and my brother who was predeceased, he was also a goalkeeper. They call him Worm at Chetwood. And so when
Hmm.
he left, as he was a couple years ahead of me, so when he left, the moniker dropped on my shoulder. So they started calling me Worm. So that was, I guess, my first
Oh,
alias,
so Worm was your
before I came
first.
to Cornwall. Alias, because they used to call my brother Worm at Chetwood. So
Oh,
he used to keep for at Sheffield, we had two teams. So he was the goalkeeper for the grade 5, grade 6 team, and then I was a goalkeeper for the grade 3, grade 4 team.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, let me refocus this now, Bertha, because
Mhm.
yet you were telling me that even at such a young age, and me a born a boy. So
Yeah.
me never knew so there was two Arnott's. And you
Yeah.
actually come from Upper Bushmouth and know this, right?
Yeah.
And then now you transition to the point where you go around the great Arnott's team with all these great legends. And
Yeah. Yeah.
like me tell Tiga what day. Him say me know still, but me doubt it. Anyway,
Mm.
me actually play for Arnott's, and me never know all of this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do a
Well,
short stint
yeah,
in
yeah,
Arnott's.
and yeah, and the reality of the situation is Clint, is it's not only honest, but a lot of our youths nowadays are young players. They don't know the history of the club, or
Hmm.
even former national players or present national players. I tell you a story.
Hmm.
Just moving things a bit. We were we were with the national team, and we were at a hotel. We were staying at a hotel in Kingston, and one of our farmer players, Alvas Powell,
Hmm.
I think, okay, Kappa, I think Pepe, and some other players were in a room. So Alvas walked in the room and like casually just yelled up everybody, and then he walked out, not knowing that was Ricardo Ghana, who played for both Time
Really?
Wanderers in the room.
Really?
So I think somebody, yeah, at the time, that was some years ago. And then I don't know if Stappa or somebody called him back and asked if you know who that person is, and he said, no. And he said, man, he apologized and, shake his hand and
Mm.
all of that. So
So that's
it's
not.
sad, but it's a reality of the situation. And as I always tell people here in Jamaica, I don't think we love football. I think we like football. We don't love
Yeah,
football in this country.
yeah. Not anymore, at least, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
When our
Exactly.
generation definitely loved it. Now,
Yeah, yeah.
more and stay early days, Bart.
Mhm. Yeah.
So now, who the skills, Chetwood, Hornets, and all of that, right? And you came to Cornwall College, 1982,
82, right?
1982. And 1982 was the year to my memory that we won the Dakasta Cup.
Yeah, we beat Kitchfield 1-0 at
Literally
Jerry Park.
1-0. Yes,
Yeah.
Steve Butler, the coach. And so when I came to Cornwall,
Mhm.
I thought the Cornwall goalkeepers were the best goalkeepers in the world. You
Mhm.
understand? I can distinctly remember Renchi,
Yeah, Barrington
um,
Red Watson.
Barrington Renchi, right? And so I started taking a keen interest in the Dakasta Cup team. My favorite player in the world at the time, I literally argued with someone one time saying better than Pele, was Anthony
Yeah.
Tuffy Barnes.
Okay.
And you know, if most people never see Tuffy Barnes before, they may think it's a
Yeah.
ludicrous claim, but we know what we know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, so you come to Cornwall now. Something clicking in your brain, so wait, at this a team, me have to make this a team. Looking at people like Renchi and these kind of people out in the goal, it inspired me as a non-goalkeeper. How did that resonate with
Well, it did well. Actually, it didn't know, because remember, as I said, well, you alluded to the fact that I claim to be an outfield player.
you? You
But
think
from
so, man?
even
Yeah.
at primary school, most at the time when we played the practice games, we mostly play against Mount Alverna Perth. A lot of times we always beat them up,
Yes.
but I didn't keep in those games. I played outfield and score a number of goals. So actually,
You
when
did,
I
you did,
came
you,
to
you literally did the same in our class competitions. But go ahead, bro.
exactly, so yeah, so that it's the same thing from primary school. I keep some
Yeah.
games, play and field most games. So when I came to Cornwall, I didn't come as a goalkeeper, because the first year I went for the under 14 team was 1983, and I went as an outfield player. I didn't make the team, but I didn't go I wasn't a goalkeeper per se then, even though I had the ability. Actually, it wasn't until third farm,
Oh,
actually
really?
from second farm, as you know, class competition.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was in 8-5. We were playing against 8-1. Now 8-1 was had a number of under 14 players: Richard Mego, Adley, Chacha Lyle, Kirk Gardner, Howard Saman. I mean, Dwight Carr, the late Leopold Ugi Samuels. I mean, they had a number of under 14 players, and we were playing at the Farfield. As you know, Farfield was up and running those days. And I had an outstanding game. I was keeping in a, if you remember them, Bata sneakers.
Oh, of course.
Yes,
quite a few.
Yes, I had a beige one, and the rain was falling, so you must know on the pitch. And that's how the goal slippery, but I made some saves, and we lost 1-0, and that's how the goal scores. A ball that was crossed, and while moving off the line to intercept, I slipped. And I don't remember who came and knocked the ball in the goal. We lost 1-0, but fortunately for me, Mr. Clyde Morris was there, the Spanish Spanish teacher then, and he was going to be the coach for the under 14 team the following year. Now, so after the game, he called me and he said, "Well, Warren, you must say a good man. You must say I can keep." I said, "Yes, sir, I can." And he said, "All right, come on, under 14 training next year." I said, "All right, sir." And so now we are done in grade 9, September, grade 9, and went to under 14 training, made the team. Actually, Richard Mego, as you know, Mego was a goalkeeper as well. I don't know if you recall that.
No, I never remember that. Didn't remember that.
All right, so let me give you a little of the history. So, the 1983, when I didn't make the team, Chacha was a goalkeeper at the line, and Mego was his reserve. Right, so Chacha was the starting goalkeeper for under 14. Mego was the reserve goalkeeper for under 14. The following year, 1984, I made the team. I was now the starting goalkeeper. Mego again was the reserve goalkeeper. And then the latter part, we had this tall, slim guy, I can't remember his name right now, who was training with us as well. And then during the second round, that's when Mego started, if you want to change position, because I can realize he won't. He's not going to get a game as a goalkeeper. So Mego started playing out on field, and I don't think Mego went back has been in a goal since then.
No, so he was very impactful outfield.
He was impactful outfield, turned into a really nice midfielder. He made the Alacasa team as well in 1988. So that goes to show you that he had some amount of talent and ability. You know, so as I said, made the under 14 team. We made it all the way to the finals. We lost to, I think we lost to Stets. The game was played up by Manuel. I think we lost to either Manuel or Stets 1-0 in the finals that year.
All right. So your introduction into becoming the person you are, the career field that pretty much chose you, was due in part to a Spanish teacher up at the school.
Yeah, Mr. Morris. Yeah, I always big him up in all the interviews. Once I'm going back to the formative years, after big up Mr. Morris. I'm not even sure if he's alive or if he has passed. But I knew he left Cornwall and went to York Castle back in the day. But after that, I didn't hear anything about him. I've always asked questions, but didn't get any answer back then. But I always big him up in all my interviews. You know, really want to thank him for spotting my talent and ability and allowing me to grace the footballing stage from under 14.
Definitely. Now, as I told you at the outset, Bope, we are going to condense this conversation, right? Because, like I said, I really want to get to the point where we talk football. You know what I mean? Current football views on certain things. Me hear you said earlier is a Tottenham Hotspur fan. We gonna get to that. You know, and I mean, listen, you know, I feel for you, but I know you have a slight glimmer of hope this year. But like I said, don't comment. We're gonna get to that.
It's not about for me. Well, let me just put this in before. For me, it's not about winning titles. It's just about the love, and that started from my youth days. So for me, I know for other people who are fanatics or some people behave as if they own some of the clubs. For me, Clint, as a person who was gone now into coaching, and I've shared this with a number of my friends and even my family members. Even though I'm a Tottenham fan, I try as best as possible. Over the years, it has gotten better, thank God. I've removed my emotion from supporting teams that I support, because as a coach, I want to be able to give a balanced view on a game if I'm called on to break down my thoughts.
So you still can be objective.
And let me tell you, I don't discuss. A lot of people are not. Why? Because they get loud. They start speaking with emotion. They start saying. So I try not to discuss. I have a small group of people who I talk football with, especially when it comes to English Premier League, because a lot of the supporters from a lot of the clubs, they are biased. I've been around them and hear them. I just listen because of that, as I said, I try to remove my emotions from supporting the team to be able to give an objective view.
With that being said, I'm going to seek your objective view going forward further though. All right. No, so you're at Cornwall now. By this point, you must be looking at certain goalkeepers and be like, yeah, I'm going to fashion my style off of this one. Or, this is my guy. Who in that time now you start watch and start become aware of as a goalkeeper? Or that never start happening then?
No, as I said, it didn't start happening because, as I said, I was more focused on being an outfield player. So
no, but you're Cornwall now and you're the youth goalkeeper. So you're still
under 14. No, when I made under 14. No, remember Renchi left.
Right.
Renchi's last year was what? 84 was Renchi's last year. So when I played under 14, I think that was Renchi's last year. So of course, Renchi was the one who every goalkeeper at Cornwall looked up to, because we had him as probably the best goalkeeper in the Dakar Cup, even though we didn't see goalkeepers from the other groups. But as a young boy, your mind is you're not expanding your views outside of zone A. So Renchi to us was the best thing in the school. And then I as a young man who been going to Barrett Park to watch Division 1 games from back then, the Kickers, the Seabirds, the whatever. So I was between UDC and Barrett Park. So that's where my early years of football started. So I've often told people that I've seen some of the greats of St. James football, and they were from, I'd say, every team that participated in the Division 1 back then. But going back to the story, Renchi was the one who really, as I said, I looked up to, but probably not in a way that youngsters now look up to players nowadays. I just know that Renchi was a good goalkeeper, but I wasn't. Remember, we don't play professional football, and me not look behind the next year. So I wasn't.
That's interesting.
My vision wasn't for 1990 or 1994, and I wasn't even looking at that. I know I love the sport, and then eventually I fell further in love with goalkeeping, and I just took it game by game or year by year, because the following year now we made the under 16 team. That was 1985. And Chacha and I were the two goalkeepers. Now, a lot of people might not know this either. I wasn't the starting goalkeeper for the under 16 team.
I think I know that. I know that much.
Right. Chacha was the starting goalkeeper. When I got my opportunity we were playing Compre. Compre had a badass team. Badass, Tanto, Ali P, Foy, Devon, Ricketts. They had a dream team. And we were playing them up by school, up by Cornwall. And I don't know, for some reason, I guess Chacha was nervous during the first half. We were down, I think we were down, it's not 3-1, 4-1 half time. Chacha was really nervous, and half time, Mark Ledford, as you know, former national captain, right? He was a coach for the under 16 and the Casa Cup team. So he told me to warm up, and I went in second half. We conceded one further goal and we scored another. So I think we lost 5-2. So that was the last time I sat on a bench at Cornwall. So from that game, I kept the rest of the under 16 competition. And then 1986 now is 1985. I don't remember if you remember that there were a lot of disruption to the Dakar Cup team because a number of players weren't taken back in school.
Expelled,
with Mrs. Barr Mrs. Barr as a principal for whatever reason. So Vinton ended up going to Rossi's.
Yes.
And then I didn't make the Dakar Cup team that year, but I was in and around the group because a number of my friends were on the team. Tyan at times was 13, I think Bumpy was 14, Flight Rocky Weight, you had
Bertha, you bring back some names that you remember.
Yeah, because these are people I still link with even. These are people I still link with today. And you know that are the Cornwall connection. We don't leave out each other. So a number of them made the honor with the Dakar Cup team that year.
Let me ask you, Bertha. And in this conversation, I may jump ahead to forward back. All right. Now, I'm gonna reveal something to you. You are probably the first person, when we know personally, that I can remember that extreme sense of pride over and about. Like, me literally used to you have a little crew still, So I think Saman and them, you know.
Cassius
and them you,
what Ian's Barrett, I think that's a flex Gary Stewart.
Me used to like anchor around, just to hear your conversations with football exploits and things. But there's an interesting moment, and I'm gonna try to recollect this. You had gone away to some youth championship for Jamaica. What year was that?
Right. 1987. I think it was March. Yeah, Tyan and I were the two Cornwall, and that I've also shared with a lot of people. That under 17 team was the first ever Jamaica national under 17 team.
Oh, was it? Who was the coach of that team?
The coaches were Jackie Walters was the head coach, and Liebert Aleman was his assistant. Yeah, so there was a trial that was at Cornwall on Saturday morning with a number of under 16 players from Zone A. As I remember, players from William Neighbor, Mannings, and Robert Morris. I think Rossi's were there. Bribey, if you remember Bribey, Brian Thompson.
Let's remember Bribey. Yep.
Bribey was at the trial. So myself, there are 4 players who I distinctly remember were there from Cornwall. Myself, Mego, Tyan, and Bribey. And the December 1986, that is when we got the call that I was invited to National 17 training. No, my parents couldn't really afford it at that time to give me the money to travel.
So this was based on your exploits in under 16 at that time.
Because I played that Casa Cup 1986 as well.
That was
my
your first year. Okay,
right.
Good.
Right, and then I don't know, for some reason, how did Aleman and Jackie Waters hear about Zone A players from the Casa Cup? I don't know, because that time, as you know, this country and town thing was
yes. I just thought about that.
Was ripe. We are a lot of, as a quote unquote, country players didn't get the opportunity to play for the national team. But I guess it was God's will. And as I said, they came to the trial, and then by the December, I got the information that myself, Mego, and Tyan were invited to trials at GC Foster College. That's where the team was going to be host. And I didn't go up the first week because, as I said, I didn't have the finances, and I think it was the following week that my parents got the funds together, and I traveled from Mobile to GC Foster. And let me tell you now, on the bus, as you know, the fumes from the bus.
The exhaust,
at the back.
The
exhaust fumes, and I was inhaling it, and it made me feel bad. And I ate a peanut, and I tell you, Clint,
everything come up.
when I reached, just as I come off from Mount Rasa, because in years after now, when I start got town youth regularly, you start know the areas. But that was my first time going that way, so I didn't know where I was. But I just remember the place where it happened. I was like second beside the person at the window. And as the bus come off Mount Rasa and come down on the street, you have to just jump across the person and head out through the door to the bus window and start vomit. Oh God, man, that was an experience.
If this make you feel any better, then you used to have to stop clean up paper on my chest on the town bus.
They used to.
The boys are regular trumper.
Yeah. No, after a while, I got, well, what I did after that, I made sure anytime I'm traveling, I sit at a window. Even when I was playing for Fire Kickers, I always sit at that seat just beside the door, so the window is right there. So anyone I feel bad, I can just like put my head a little outside to get that fresh breeze.
So jumping around a bit again, Bertha. Let me tell you, when you came back from that championship, I don't know if you remember, like you pretty much was the talk of the school, and I felt like it was only right for me to boast about you to my friend them Ronald Greenpan.
Rightly so.
So when I tell you that you were the first person that me can identify as, yo, I know him, you know, on the national stage.
Yeah.
You understand? So that kind of give me a little clout in a family little circle when we used to have
circles, right.
So we probably were you.
And both one so man. Yeah. And sorry, and in those days, as you know, you were when they put on the national colours, you wore it with pride.
My God.
And passion, because I mean, me and Ty, and I mean, walking around school compound, everybody call it national. It was a it was a norm for people. Badge of honor when people see you call national, you know. And as I said, rightly so that you could boast, because I remember I was voted the best goalkeeper of the tournament, and also the #1 goalkeeper in the Caribbean that year. And the 17 goalkeeper in the Caribbean. That was 1987.
And that's a good way. I'm not going to segue into that yet because I have some observations that I want to share with you. All right. But so Cornwall was where you really came to national attention, right? Did you win the Dakasta Cup?
No, not even play interzone round. Right. When I started to when I
travesty, man.
Yeah, when I became a coach, when I started work with Dr. Dean Wedderly at Cornwall, and pre-season, as you know, pre-season we talk to the team before we actually start pre-season for the season, and I would be telling them a little about my story. Everybody knows, I went to the World Cup, captain the national team, and all of that. So people I guess a lot of people just think, all along the road was a smooth sailing all the way through. You win on a 14, on a 16 D Cup with everything coming up. So when I started sharing my story with them and telling them that I never won the Dakasta Cup, every year it's like everybody I walk around the I'm like, really, sir? So I never won the Dakasta Cup. I never even played interzone round. So they couldn't believe that, because they just associate the fact that I went on to do well at the national, at the national international level. Everybody just feels that I've been a winner all my life. No, that wasn't the case.
So Bertha, all right. So you left Cornwall. I left Cornwall in 1987. Did you go on to upper school?
No, I repeated grade 11. I repeated grade 11.
Right. Okay. So now 88 comes around. You just a lowly, no interzone, no D Cup winner. You just knowing not for the D Cup team.
The Alakasa team 87 and 88 though, so that shows that those were my.
This is exactly where I'm getting to. So Corey Favor, what happened? I don't understand. How you never win nothing in the D Cup, and somebody say, you know, a Barrett all D keeper.
It's the talent and the ability and the performances during the seasons, because I think for the fact that I played for the national team in 1987, I think that is where I really started to probably look a little bit further ahead. And started aspiring to one day play for the national senior team. So 1988 now, I'm my third and final year in the Casa Cup. So of course I'm vastly more experienced because I also played Division 1. I played for Arnott's as well in Division 1. So my first taste of big man football was at Arnott's. That was 1986. After the Casa Cup.
Who was the team at that time? Mr. Lowe?
Mr. Lowe was in charge, right? Yeah, Donovan Fireheads Blake, who eventually moved to Valley because he was a member of that team.
Yep.
Walter McDonald, and there are a number of Walter Bolt, yeah, man. So a number of players who I played with at Arnett's. That was my first case with the big man league. And let me drop the same way. We played Wadada 1 year, 1986. Yeah, we played Wadada and we lose 7-0. Wadada beat me at Dry Park. And guess who scored for me, Clint?
Who?
Guess who scored for me? My coach, man. Coach Marcus scored one for me. What I 7. So the next day I got school. Oh God, man, they're laughing stock at the school.
Marcus still played for one at that time?
Yeah. It was in his latter part of his career. And that was Division 1, so he was playing. I don't remember if he was playing national.
And Division 1. Division 1 a big ball at the time, bro.
Big ballers, of course. Big ballers. I tell you. Yeah, man. So that was my first taste, as I said, with the big man. I played about 2 or 3 games for Arnett's. And then the following year, after the Casa Cup 1987, Leroy Eran, we know him as Chubby. Don't know if you remember him. Affiliated with Valley Kickers. Came up to Cornwall, by the school grounds one day. And he came and spoke to myself, Mego, Bumpy, that's Leary Bumpy White. And he asked us if we wanted to come and play Division 1 for Violet Tourers. And
yes.
Yeah. So for me, Clint, that was as I say, a burst your bubble. All from the bubble and burst there. Let me just share this. Before you ask the question. Why I said that is because as a youngster growing up, Violet Kickers was always the team that I supported. Just like I tell you, I fall in love with Spurs from early days.
And all of them.
From my first, Boxer, Bram King, the late Carl Jarrett, you have the late Vegan, all of them big man, Bram King and the whole works. Yeah, so I fell in love with Valley Kickers from the start go Jarrett Park. So when Chubby said Violet Strikers, there's no way I could have said no.
Taurus.
No, man. Taurus is a master's team that travel around and play. Violet Strikers was a sister team for Violet Kickers.
Yeah.
Right. So, of course, I told Chubby, yeah, man, right away. And, myself, as I said, Mego, Bumpy, and I think another Cornwall. I think about 4 of us who went and played Division 1 that year. So we played with Ly George. A lot of people probably don't know so Ly George, a big striker.
Yeah.
He was probably
that's Peter, one name.
Pieces.
Jim. Pieces, yep.
Yeah, the sound system, right. So, yeah, man. So Ly George was a member of that team, and some other players, and we did well that year. I think I missed the big games though, which sort of hurt. Big games meaning.
I kind of love how you transition the conversation, and this is exactly the idea that I had, because like I said, I never wanted to be an interview farmer. So I really love how you transition, because you're hitting the points exactly early stage Cornwall, now Violet Kickers. What I want to ask you ever trouble the gaffer and ask him what you know about Violet Strikers?
Who's the gaffer?
Theo Whitmore, man.
If he knows anything about Violet Strikers.
Violet Strikers, yeah.
Yeah, he knows about Violet Strikers, but Theo came on the scene a little later, 1990.
Yeah, that's right.
Violet Kickers.
But no, that's why I'm asking you, because a young boy, you don't really know Storm.
Yeah, but he and I played. We grew up together in West Green, playing I play ball on the road, when we
Listen,
had Cornwall 14, 15,
listen,
16. So
I am
as
I am
you know,
hoping. Listen, I mess with him
mhm,
still, but I am hoping so you make it put it together because we need to talk to him. We really need to
okay,
talk to him. I'm not gonna talk much, but we really need to
yeah,
talk to him because I am going to tell him. I'm gonna think
mhm,
him no. In fact, I never think him know how impactful his
yeah,
entrance on like the Western scene was.
was
And
yeah,
I
true,
often say this, There's only two footballers that me can remember who, when they burst on the scene, like, when they make that big transition and everybody has said, yo, who that? And everybody
yeah,
that go at the UDC or wherever football
mhm,
they play to find out who them two youth are, it was him and
yeah,
Sleepy.
okay,
You understand? Yes, so
yeah,
we need, we need to have a conversation about that. But all right, here we go.
yeah,
So that transition into Violet Strikers now really
mhm,
it was ordained because even if Chubby, we used to came and got you, Chubby,
sorry, yeah,
even if Chubby never come and get you, being the fact
mhm,
that Bram Bram them was so prominent in the carnival scene, that
mhm.
was already an ordained transition for you, no?
Yeah, for sure. And that happened the following year.
Mm-hmm.
Because as I said, I was telling that I missed the two biggest games then as a 17-year-old. The two biggest games after that season would have been playing against Wadada and Siba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I was at national camp. I was at the Jamaica National 17 camp. So I missed both games. I think I heard we drew with Wadada 2-2. Uh, from what I heard, what I can recollect, they said that Gainer scored two early first half and they pulled him out half time because them said the game wrap up. And then
Oh,
second
okay.
half,
They're
second half
complacent.
we scored. We scored two second half and drew that game 2-2. And I think we lost 1-0 to Siba. And me say, Mego,
This is it TV. Icon Talk, where the icons talk.